Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to part 3 of our long distance relationship story. And I think this is an appropriate time to get into the nitty gritty of the subjects. And the nitty gritty of the subjects is two things. First off, money. Second off, jealousy. Okay, so money, as I've said, is important because your money here in America goes a whole lot farther in foreign countries such as the Philippines, Thailand, Guatemala, Dominican Republic, Haiti. So you are giving an opportunity to have the young lady you're interested in get a lot more bang for the buck than you would be able to get and enjoy here. So that being said, figure an amount that you're comfortable with, that you'll have no trouble maintaining over the long period of time, and that seems appropriate to you, but that will make a difference in her life. And trust me, if she's got plenty of money over there and comes from a well-off family, you're not going to attract her anyways. And if the money that you're offering isn't sufficient to her, then more than likely she has multiple ways to bring in revenue, if you know what I mean. And it's probably not the sort of girl that you're going to have a loyal long-distance relationship with. So that's enough to be said about money. Now we'll talk about jealousy. Obviously, if you're into looking for a long-distance relationship, it's because you don't have what you want here in the States or in another Western country. That's fine. Every market's different. We all have a desire to have our reach exceed our grasp. So when you reach out for somebody that appeals to you, that if you went to a bar here in the States, she probably wouldn't accept a free drink from you, then your best chance is to look overseas. And like I said, Facebook's the best place. I highly recommend finding what exactly you want. As ridiculous as that may seem, you have just as good a chance attracting the most beautiful real girl as you do an average real girl. It all depends on her circumstances and the way you approach her, the way you treat her, and her place in life, her need in life at that moment. With my situation, like I said, the girl I wanted was engaged, and I don't see any reason for at the time I was a 64-year-old man to interfere with at the time, 18-year-old girl and her 20-year-old boyfriend that lives in the same village that she does, that she's known all her life, and that she quite possibly has a real connection to. So I steered clear of that other than just maintaining a casual, once every couple months friendship, and moved on to other girls. And I found a number of other girls that seemed interesting, would certainly keep my interest up, and seemed to reciprocate the fact that they had an interest in conversing with me. And of course, they all needed money, but it was very minimal. And we traded pics and got to know some members of their family, and you might watch out. Some of the members of the family may want to try to intervene and get you for themselves. So there might be some falsehoods laid by a sister here and there or an aunt here and there. This didn't happen with my fiance, but like I said, it happened with some other long-distance relationships that I pursued and invested a little bit of time, effort, and money in. But as you will see, as things progress, the time will get longer or shorter that she invests in the relationship with you. And of course, as it gets longer, you will probably feel a need to add more of a financial component to the relationship. It's just how it is. But I always encouraged, even my fiance, when she was just a online relationship that was a fantasy to me, to go out, have fun, enjoy your friends, go to the disco. I even sent her money to go to the disco and party and have fun. I knew that in the long run, she was what I wanted. And I am a firm believer in the adage, you hold somebody you love with an open palm. I didn't want to own her. If I wanted to own her, there are places I can go in this world where I can own a semi-permanent live-in and still have the freedom to do whatever I wanted. I decided after a while that I wanted a real relationship that, if things worked out perfectly, had a future, had a wedding cake and children. And I know I'm 68. You don't think maybe, well, it can happen. It's fine. She wants 3 kids, and although I waited to 44 to have my one and only child so far, as soon as I had my daughter, I kicked myself in the butt for not having many more children, because I absolutely find children delightful. I find them the most important thing you can have. I get more fun out of spoiling kids than I do spoiling myself. And I'm sure that when I get to the Dominican Republic, I will round up a posse of children in the neighborhood, and we will have lots of shows online and do a lot of fun experiments with science and with building things. And that's the type of dad I was, and that's the type of dad and husband I want to be. So anyways, encouraging her to make sure that before you show up at her doorstep with a dozen roses and enough money to buy an engagement ring, that there's nobody there in her village or in her life that is a better choice for her. That's very, very important. Once you've overcome that hurdle, which it honestly took us a couple of years to overcome, or to rationally decide that she was meant for me and I was meant for her, withhold throwing everything you have into the relationship. Like I said, I intended to continue doing my professional dating here and just having her as an online fantasy. And as responsive as she was to me, as attentive as she was to me, as kind and sweet as she was to me, it took me only a couple weeks to realize that I wasn't going to have a need for any relationship other than the long-distance relationship she was providing me with. And even at that point, it was still a fantasy, but it covered my needs emotionally. So anyways, you need to look at what you can afford to send, how quickly you want to commit to actually meeting her, and to make sure that she's explored all opportunities around her before she decides that you're the best choice for her. Because if you can survive that point and buy an airplane ticket and fly to where she lives and meet and greet her family and get to know her, you might just find something that is extraordinary and will last you for the rest of your life. Hopefully not hers because she's younger than you. But it's very, very important that once you go beyond the first few months and you have her thinking that your desire for the relationship is real, that the wedding bell she hears in her head when she greets you in the morning or says goodnight to you late at night, you're not playing her. Be honest. There's people out there for all kinds of relationships. You can find anything you need as long as you give honestly of yourself and explain what you want right up front. So that's part 3. We'll see you again tomorrow for more of the story. Have a great day.